So you wanna go to war with me? You're talking like you think you're royalty. You think that I'm afraid, but I don't break. I heard you question my stability. You think I'll fall just like a guillotine, but I am here to stay. Won't look away. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control, feel it in my bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the.
All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Tony Denaro here, live with Mediocre Trader. Welcome back, amigo.
What's up, buddy? How's everybody tonight?
I'm doing swell. Hopefully everybody in the chat is doing swell as well. Let's see who we got in here tonight. Sergeant Beef, I see you. Blazing, Silver Surfer, Doc Zeno, Karen, Jack Wolf, welcome back. Long time no see, Jack. Do you have your chat running up in your channel there, Mediocre?
Yeah, in the restream, I got it.
Steven, good evening. Codename Bogdan. Dan, what's up to you in the UK? Sam, Wall Street, Wolfie, Sunny, Mindbody. Welcome, 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 welcome. All right, so Mediocre and I both have done at least one read through of the proxy, and I know you guys have a lot of questions because I've already been getting bombarded with them as I was doing my evening watching the aftermarket stuff. More news on games on Bed Bath and Beyond. I had to look up the GTII news, but tonight I really want to at least get out of the way first, run through of our initial thoughts on this proxy. Mediocre and I have not really talked about this. So this is going to be, I'll call this a working session, and I really want to hear what questions you guys have also. And I guess let us give you our first run through of what we see here. So does that sound fair, Mediocre?
Yeah, let's go through it.
All right, let me put this up on the screen. All right, the beginning is just some background. This is a very long document. A lot of it is repetitive. So I'm just going to probably go through the highlights unless you guys have some questions that you want me to dig into on other pages. But first of all, as we were saying, the importance of waiting for the proxy before we get all like, well, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to vote for this one, I'm going to vote for the other one. First thing that caught my eye on this is that all of the proposals are cross-conditioned on each other, which is something that I told you might happen. Like if you can't vote for one and not vote for the other, or you can do that, but if one doesn't pass, it doesn't matter about the other one. Everything has to pass is basically what that means. And the other thing, just to get the easy part out of the way, similar to what we saw with Mullen, proposal number 3 says, remember Mullen couldn't get the vote that they wanted for the reverse split, so they kept adjourning the meeting and then they'd convene another one a few weeks later. AMC has proposal number 3 to approve one or more adjournments of the meeting if necessary to permit further solicitation of proxies if there's not enough votes. So if they don't get the vote they want because people just aren't responding, then I don't know how the process works. There's some talk about it later in the document, but I'm presuming that they go figure out who hasn't voted and they try and contact you and say, hey, can you submit your vote? So do you have any idea how that works, Mediocre?
The third one?
Have you ever been solicited for a vote if you forgot to vote? I've never not voted, to my recollection. So.
I vote.
Yeah.
I call for my proxy, So no, I've never been solicited to do that. Do they actually do that?
There's some talk in there about later in the document about a firm that they hired to handle that stuff. But maybe we'll get to that in this video. We'll see. But for now, I mean, the important thing to know is if not enough votes are there, it says to permit further solicitation of proxies if there are not sufficient votes.
I believe they're going to get their vote.
I think they will, but I just want y'all to be ready. You know, if they don't have the votes, they can adjourn the meeting and reschedule it for 2 weeks later. And they can do that as many times as they want. One or more adjournments. The Mullen one was the first one in recent history that I remember seeing that happen on. So, MC, thank you, amigo. Appreciate you. Where is KC? Brian, I did not reach out to KC. I've been running busy since the afternoon live stream.
He had a hockey game or something. I'm not sure if he's still there or whatnot.
He was what?
He had a hockey game or something, and I'm not sure if he's still there or not.
I mean, I literally just reached out to Mediocre about 15 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And said, hey, I'm getting too many questions on this proxy. Let's if you want to come talk about it, let's do it. So sorry for the last minute notice and stuff, but here we are, and thank you for coming. Shin Kyoku, what's up? Birdman says, if the proposals go through, 10 shares of APE will equal 1 AMC. All right. So before we start making up our own comments, let's read exactly what it says. Because I know there's going to be a lot of misinformation. Proposal number 1, to approve an amendment to the, I'm going to say I'm just going to abbreviate this, the certificates of incorporation, to increase the total number of authorized shares from 524 million to 550 million. Now, in my mind, as we were talking about this for the last month, I thought that they were going to increase it by $1 billion or 900 million to move all the APE over. But it looks like the way I'm reading this, that maybe they're trying to do the share increase. And by the way, if Pantheon's listening in and he wants to come help fact check us on this, he's welcome to do it. If you guys see him in the chat, spam a bunch of Pantheons so I see it. Increasing the total number of common stock, that's AMC, to 550 million. What was your thoughts initially in the past month, Mediocre, about how many shares they were going to increase it to convert APE? Did you think about that at all?
Yeah, no, I thought we were going to go to $1 billion as well, and then they were going to cut it down. And that's what the reverse split was. And that way, I figured he was going to leave enough room in it so that I didn't know it was going to go the way it's written there. But I assumed that he was going to cut the float down, do the reverse split, and then basically do a split to put the float out to, get new shareholders after the price come back down or whatever. But I don't think that's what's happening here. Those were my original thoughts.
Diatog says, Tony, the reason a large increase is not needed is because the reverse split does not increase the number of authorized shares. It only decreases the number of outstanding shares. That is true. But I was thinking that in order to move the APE over, that they needed to increase the number of authorized shares. Does that make sense?
No, I thought that too, but I think because this is where people get confused too. One APE is only a tenth of actual share that Adam Aaron holds. So I think when he
one
takes
APE is a hundredth, 1/100th.
Right. And so when he takes them all back, he can do his thing, whatever. But 1 APE is equal to 1 AMC, but not the way that one. I forget the name of the share that Adam Aaron has, but it's basically 100th of what 1 APE is.
I think we're going to get into this, and I need to go read. I'm going to need to read the creation of the APE document again. But I think the way that this works, and someone was talking about it in the chat, about the APE is going to be equal to 1/10 of an AMC. It looks to me, the only way this makes sense is when they do the reverse split, they're basically reverse split. Well, let's just read proposal 2. All right. We understand that the outstanding authorized shares is going to go to 550 million. Let's talk about the reverse split. Proposal 2. Do you want to read that one, Mediocre?
Sure. Let me pull up mine. Scroll to the top. Hold on, I gotta find it now.
By the way, while you're pulling that up, I'm going to put up the chart of AMC and APE.
Go ahead. So I'm just going to read it. I'm not going to show up, but it says proposal number 2 to approve an amendment to our certificate of incorporation to effectively locate a reverse stock split at a ratio of 1 share of common stock for every 10 shares of common stock, which together with the share increase proposal shall permit the full conversion of all outstanding shares of Series A preferred stock into shares of common stock. The reverse split proposal, and collectively with the authorized shares increase proposal, the charter amendment proposal.
Your mic is getting real choppy whenever you opened up that screen for some reason.
Did you guys hear it okay though?
We could hear it, but it got real staticky.
I'll close the
I don't
window.
know what happened.
I'm sorry about that. Is that better?
Not yet.
What the heck happened?
Now it sounds better. Well, I'm going to just put up the chart of what happened once this came out, this vote proxy. This was right when it dropped. I was reading it, and then right when I finished reading it, it's like all the robots finished reading it at the same time. I was reading it for about 15 minutes. I was like, well, this is pretty good. I mean, it's confirming that all apes are converting 1-for-1 to AMC. And then right when I finished reading the document, we went shooting up to 265 on ape from 189, 190. So that was a nice little after hours run. It settled in at 233. So up 21% in after hours. Not too bad. AMC came down about 2.5%. So it's at 537. And the why on that, I think, is just, this continued theme that we talk about, the arbitrage theme, that these two tickers, these two units, APE and AMC, are functionally and economically equivalent, other than the fact that there's more APE than AMC. So it's made sense to me for a long time that when a vote was on the table, the value of APE should get closer and closer to the price of AMC. That may mean that the price of AMC has to come down.
I think that's going to happen now that the proxy is out.
Before we go down into the next section, I want to see what other questions we have here or comments. Someone, Jersey Recycler says, reverse split then dilution makes no sense and will further encourage short selling. Well, we've talked about this 100 times in the last month. Welcome to the channel. There's going to be dilution no matter what, guys. The company is not making money. The box office has not recovered yet to the levels of 2018 and 2019. There is a cash burn going on AMC. I expect that as much as I like the company, I expect the cash burn, looking at the financial statements, to go all the way through 2023 into 2024 unless something changes. Like what could change? Cineworld and Regal could declare bankruptcy, have no buyers and no way to reorganize, right? Just throwing some examples out there, just like what's happening to Bed Bath and Beyond right now. If one of your major competitors were just to go away, that's more revenue per seat coming into AMC. That is a unknown type catalyst that's potentially hanging out there. I don't know how likely it is that Cineworld would that would play out that way, but that would be one thing that would increase revenues for AMC in 2023. The other thing is the unknown contribution of retail popcorn sales, and I'm not hanging my hat on that to save us in 2023. It will help, but I have no way to tell you scientifically what the revenue contribution or the bottom line contribution of popcorn will be to AMC. So I'm like in a wait and see attitude. In the meantime, especially if they don't get it going until halfway through the year, in the meantime, the cash burn is real. The necessity for raising extra money is not going away in 2023 for AMC. They're not going to watch their cash burn over the next 2 quarters and get so dangerously low that then they are a real target for shorts. You want to see shorts come in AMC, let the cash drop down to 150 million over 2 quarters. Just saying. What do you think, Mediocre?
I think that is a major issue. I mean, we can't even dilute Ape properly. It's even if he dilutes Ape now, I think it's too late. So he's got to get cash somewhere, right?
Yep. It's either the choice is, if we vote no, he's going to dilute more Ape.
I mean, operating costs are what they are, right?
Yep. It is what it is. That's the play. I mean, this is not a clickbait channel. We can be bullish on a company and see the way for them to get through the morass that they're in. Not morass, the morass.
2 years ago on top of it. We knew that 2 years ago when we got in.
We knew it, and we voted against the dilution a year ago, right? Or a year and a half ago. We knew this exact same data, and we said, no, we want the squeeze. We're not going to vote for the dilution. And I think I said the same thing. But, now we don't have $2 billion in the bank. We're down to $500 million. It's a different situation. The company is going to be on the ropes. So he has a way out. He can keep diluting Ape or reverse split and convert everything into one ticker back to AMC and continue diluting AMC. But dilution is not it's not avoidable. There's no way.
That's ultimately the question. Do you want them diluting Ape, knowing it's 1-for-1 with AMC at a cheaper rate than just diluting AMC? That's the other question, right? I mean, you're giving them a discount by allowing them to sell Ape at a lower cost than AMC.
Yep, exactly. Ape got beat up, bloodied, dragged on the floor, and that just makes no sense to keep diluting Ape when it is being attacked. And so they're changing to Plan B. All right, let's keep reading here. As I mentioned at the beginning, with these 2 proposals for the increase in the authorized shares and the reverse split, everything is conditioned on each other. So they all have to pass. And here's another paragraph saying the same thing. They both have to pass. What day is the vote?
February 8th, there's a shareholder meeting.
February 8th. Somehow I was reading all the proposal information so deeply that I just skipped over when the actual shareholder meeting is. It's probably right in here somewhere. The other thing mentioned in here in the beginning is that Antara owns 17% total of the vote, about 27% of Ape. If this deal goes, if the Antara thing goes through, which I'm sure it did by now, since we saw the proxy statement. I'm assuming that the whole Antara deal is done now, and they are voting yes for both items, Proposal 1 and Proposal 2. Here we go. We plan to hold a shareholder special meeting. Only those holders of record at the close of business on February 8th, the record date for the special meeting will be entitled to vote. So you are correct, sir. Wait. Here it says the special meeting's on Tuesday, March 14th. So the date of record is February 8th. Which is it?
Hang on, I'm typing in the background. What you looking for the date?
It says only the holders of record at the close of business on February 8th. Oh, it's the record date for the special meeting. All right. So you got to whatever shares you have on February 8th, that will be your vote. And the meeting is on March 14th. Tuesday, March 14th.
Yeah, you have to, if you want your ape to count for a vote, you have to own it before that date.
February 8th. And the actual meeting will be March 14th. Sorry, it's been a long day. What else? Now there was questions and answers. They still did not answer all of the questions that I had. But if the reverse split is approved and implemented, every 10 shares of AMC stock issued and outstanding common stock you own will be converted into 1 share. We already know about that. It's a 1-for-10 reverse split. On an aggregate basis, the outstanding shares of AMC would drop from 517 million to 51 million. And if the charter amendment proposal or the conversion is approved, this is what I skipped over when I was reading. This is why they only need to go to 550 million. So you guys know that they took 10 million Series A preferred stock and created the 1 billion ape.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about at the beginning.
Those will be, these will also be the 9 million Series A preferred stock represented by 9.2 million ape will convert into 92 million shares of common stock. So it's a Thanos snap. It's a Thanos snap. Everything will happen at the same time. And then at the end of the deal, if it's a yes vote, we will have a float of 144 million of AMC, and the authorized shares will still be 550 million. What does that mean? The difference between 550 million and 144 million will be the potential shares that he could issue as new dilution. Does that sound right to you, Mediocre?
Unfortunately, yes.
You don't like that, huh?
No.
But you do know that he needs to do more dilution.
Yes.
So how do you reconcile those mixed feelings?
You gotta let the man do what he's gonna do, right?
What would you prefer? What would you have preferred that he do? Let's talk about that.
Well, that's already too late. We dropped the ball on that one. As far as it looks, we did, but
you mean with the ape dilution?
Yes.
Other important things to know: no fractional shares will be issued, so make sure that all of your shares are in round lots of 10. If they're not in a round lot of 10, you're going to get a cash payment. There's some legal talk in here that says they can't control what your broker does, yada, 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 but you should get if you have a fractional share, you should get a cash payment. I'm going to make sure. I haven't looked at my total count of AMC and ape. I don't think that they're in round lots of, I think I need to buy 9 more shares of ape to get a round lot or sell one, but nobody's selling.
Mine off.
Huh?
I already evened mine off. I knew that was a thing when they first, when Adam Aaron made that tweet, I knew I took him serious.
Birdman says, please check your Discord inbox. Hang on one second. All right. So yeah, we're gonna scroll down to that. We're getting there, buddy. As painful as it is, we're gonna try and cover everything that is useful information to us in here. Will the new common stock be issued under a new QSIP? Yes. Reverse splits get a new QSIP, so there will be a new QSIP. I don't know how you feel about that, Mediocre, but I have not seen new QSIPs be on many different plays. I've seen them make no difference in forcing a short squeeze, so that is really a non-item of interest for me personally. What are your thoughts?
I was on the fence about if they did both, but they didn't do both, so it doesn't matter. Right? Like if they changed the name, it might have done something because it forces everybody out and back in, but I don't think this forces everybody out and back in.
Continuing on.
Thing is about that.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'd like to see some more case studies if a change of name and QSIP really causes something. I know we had the Cosmos deal the other day, but I think a few weeks ago, but I think that was due to the rush that they did. We'll have to keep an eye out for other companies that have name and QSIP changes. What is the effect of the charter amendment proposals on Series A preferred stock? All right. This is the part that might take some sober reading. I have not had a drink yet. Each ape represents 1/100th of a share of preferred stock. We know that. We've talked about that for 4 months. Because each preferred stock equals 100 shares of AMC. So for an ape to equal AMC, you have to divide the preferred stock by 100. So they're just restating what we already know. Each share of preferred stock is convertible into 100 shares of common stock or AMC and has 100 votes. Accordingly, 1/100th of a share of preferred stock is entitled to 1 vote. Basically, they're just a complicated way of telling you that for every ape you own, you're going to get a vote.
Yes.
Each of the share increase proposal and the reverse split proposal is cross-conditioned on the approval of the other, as we talked about a few minutes ago, so that the approval of both proposals is required for each of them to take effect. After giving effect to the reverse split, each ape, which represents 1/100th interest in the equivalent of 100 shares of common stock upon conversion of each Series A preferred stock, will represent 1/100th interest in 10 shares of common stock. That's the one that I got to stop and think about. Basically what they're telling you is that the preferred stock is splitting also at the same time, is how I'm reading that. You had 100 apes, and you're going to have 10 shares of common stock. Am I missing something? Do you guys have another in the chat, or Mediocre? Do you have another way of reading that?
So, from what I understand, 100 ape is equal to 1 preferred stock.
Yes.
Okay. So 1 preferred stock is equal to 100 AMC shares. So it's 1 for 1.
Yep.
That's how I interpret it.
And AMC, when the reverse split, when both proposals are approved, AMC is going to be divided by 10. And so they're telling you here that your preferred stock is going to give you 10 shares of common stock.
Yes.
It's confusing. I know there's going to be a lot of people saying, guys, you're getting ripped off. You're getting 1/10 of a share of common stock. But I think you need to read this slowly and carefully. And I still could be wrong. Again, this is only my second run through of this. This is a working session, but the way I'm reading this, they're just telling you that if the vote is yes, everything's going to happen at the same time, the conversion and the split, and that the preferred shares that are issued to create APE are splitting at the same time.
Yeah. So if you had 50 APE and then 50 AMC, it equals 100. You're going to end up with 10 shares.
All right. And here's what Birdman was wanting me to look at. Current status, as we've already said, 100 APEs equals 100 shares of AMC. 1 APE equals 1 AMC. After approval, 100 APEs equals 1 share of Series A preferred stock equals 10 shares of common stock. All right. That's just saying that your APE is going to be split by 10. This is the one that is still confusing to me. Why does it say 1 APE equals 1/10 a share of a common stock? Oh, because I thought the common stock was going away after this conversion vote.
But they're talking about preferred common. What Adam holds, it's worth more than what we hold. It's worth 100 of what we hold. So 1 APE is not. So if you have 1 APE, it's 99. Adam, it takes 100 of APE to equal 1 common stock of what Adam, the preferred common that we don't own. That's how he doesn't have to go to $1 billion in float. You see what I'm trying to say?
Say it one more time slowly, because I'm slow tonight.
Okay, so if we took the float of APE, right?
Yep.
We thought it was going to equal $1 billion. It only doesn't equal $1 billion because each APE, if 100 APE is equal to 1 preferred stock, that's what the 1/10 means. 1/100th means.
Did you get a text?
Yeah, my phone was going off. I didn't even look at it. Yeah, from what I understand, that's why those let me see what that was real quick. Nothing.
Spanish John says preferred stock is not common stock. Correct. Diatog says it's easy. 100 APE equals 1 preferred equals 10 AMC. Yes. Thus 10 APE equals 1 AMC.
No. Oh, yes.
After the conversion. I'm still stuck on this 1 APE equals 1/10 of a common share of common stock after approval of the proposals.
Because when Adam first did it, from what I understand, the common stock that he did, he broke it up in the 10th. So he's just taking all the stock back, right? And then he's going to give you the common stock after you add the stuff, the 550. He's going to fix it there. That's what I understand from it. So not that your APE is only worth 1/10 of AMC. No, that's not what it means. It's equivalent, but in order for him to do it without changing the float when he did it or giving us too much, he did it on that at higher end, so he didn't have to give out as much.
The reason I didn't get all hung up, and the first time I read this, I kind of did and then I kept reading, and the reason I didn't just like derail when I saw that is it says down here, if you hold 100 shares of AMC and 100 APEs, when it becomes effective, you will automatically after that hold 20 shares of AMC.
Perfect. 1 for 1.
Yeah. So I still don't understand this. I'm probably just being dense tonight, but I'm numerous times in here. It tells you very clearly that you will hold just common stock at a 1 for 10 reduced rate for all of your AMC and all of your APE.
I just don't like how they called it of common stock. 1/8 equals, okay, so what that's saying is 1/8 equals 1/10 of common stock. So if you owned 100 ape, you own one common stock, basically. But the common stock they're talking about is not the common stock you hold with AMC. It's more valuable. So,
or maybe it's because I hate doing maybes on a live stream.
it's not really maybe. It's, I forget, the name common stock is stupid because we hold common stock. You shouldn't have it say that.
My maybe was going to be what Diatog is saying here. It's written that way because the reverse split happens first. Yeah. Bottom line, I think we don't worry about getting hung up on this unless I figure out some hidden smoking gun that I'm missing. They're telling us very clearly at the end of this, for every ape you have, you'll have AMC, and for every AMC you have, you'll have AMC, and then they'll be added together and divide by 10.
Correct. So
no fraction.
It is 1 for 1.
Yes, no fractional shares. Make sure you have everything rounded up or down to tens. Who may vote? Shareholders of record on February 8th. If this is broadcast live, I will be broadcasting it on March 14th. And then pretty much everything else in here is just repetitive of what they already said.
Mm-hmm. It's basically the same exact thing that we already knew, except it has dates now.
There is one thing at the bottom I want to talk about when we get there. I'm just scrolling through. Yeah. Oh, it says if you abstain. There was one part in here. What happens if you abstain from voting? What is the quorum? A quorum is minimum number of shares required to transact the meeting. The presence in person or by proxy of 1/3 of the outstanding shares of common stock and Series A preferred stock is necessary. 1/3. I'm quite certain we'll have a quorum.
I think the board holds enough shares for the quorum.
What are the effects if you abstain for your vote? An abstention represents an affirmative choice to decline to vote on a proposal. If a stockholder indicates that they wish to abstain, the vote will be considered present. Wait, I'm trying to skip reading unnecessary stuff. Oh, all right. Summary sentence. As a result, abstentions will be counted for purposes of determining the presence or absence of a quorum and will have the same effect as votes against the share increase proposal, the reverse split proposal, and the adjournment proposal. So a quorum is will count towards the quorum. An abstention represents an affirmative choice to decline to vote on the proposal. What are the voting requirements to approve proposals? You got to have a majority of shares of common stock and preferred stock entitled to vote. So I guess it's just a simple majority. Says the same for proposal 2 and same for proposal 3. We'll get to your questions in just a minute as I finish up scrolling through this document. Under the terms of the deposit agreement, if the depository does not receive timely voting instructions, I'm assuming they're talking about computer share. Do you know if that's who they're referring to for depository.
I'm not
Because
certain.
it doesn't say the holder of record like your broker. The depository will vote, including broker non-votes. The depository will vote the preferred stock represented by non-voting apes proportionally with votes cast for and against and abstain. Interesting. So the way I'm reading that, if you have them DRS and you don't vote, the computer share is going to vote for you in the same ratio as for, against, and abstains. Then it talks about broker non-votes. Here it says, how can I contact the transfer agent and the depository? Yeah, so they must be talking, they're talking about computer share as the depository.
Didn't even think about any of that.
Go ahead.
So if you DRS your shares, you don't even get to vote. Computer share votes for you?
No. They're saying if you don't vote and you DRS'd, if you just don't vote, you forgot, you didn't get it, lost in the mail, they will vote for you at the same, for all the non-votes, they'll vote for you in the same ratio of the people that did vote that they have at computer share. Same ratio, for, against, and abstain.
Okay, gotcha.
Here was that little interesting part about soliciting extra votes. Our board is soliciting proxies for use at the meeting by means of proxy materials, and they have engaged DF King & Co. to assist in solicitation of proxies. They will AMC will bear the entire cost of this solicitation, including preparation, assembly, printing, mailing, for $15,000. The original solicitation of proxies may be supplemented by solicitation by phone, email, or other means by our directors, officers, or employees. No additional compensation will be paid to those folks for those services. Can you imagine getting a call from Adam Aaron saying, hey, mediocre trader, I really need you to vote in this upcoming proxy. Popcorn is on the line.
Yeah. Popcorn. That's what's on the line here.
my first read through this, again, this is only my second time. As I was speed reading through this, I thought that it said that they were hiring DF King to go solicit extra votes if they didn't have enough in the first run. But it doesn't say that here. It doesn't actually say that. It might say it later. But DF King is responsible for all the prep, assembly, printing, mailing, and distribution of the proxy materials. I get mine on email or through my broker, so.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just trying to read this. My eyes bother me. I'm watching your screen and I'm reading in the background here every time you stop.
Then again, more, they're just repeating again the same proposals, just in longer format. Each ape, by virtue of its interest in the underlying Series A preferred stock, is automatically convertible into one share of common stock. Upon effectiveness of the conversion trigger, each preferred stock, those are the ones that are worth 100 common, will convert into 100 common. And each ape in turn will represent an interest in one share of common stock. Still 1 for 1 as far as I'm seeing.
Yep. Which means right now it looks like apes at a discount.
Or AMC is overvalued, or both.
Mm-hmm. These questions are pretty good, though. This chat's good.
You can read some of them out while I'm scrolling through here.
Jeff B says, Tony, please look into APE record date.
For the vote, February 8th. Sergeant Beef. Date of record. So you have to, whatever amount of shares of AMC and APE you hold on February 8th, that is the date of record. That is how many votes you will get. March 14th is the actual vote date, the meeting date. Get your votes in before March 14th.
Right. If you need more votes, or you want more votes, you got to get them before the 8th, or they don't count as votes.
They do give the standard warning that we all know about, the potential adverse effects of a reverse split. While the board believes that common stock would trade at higher prices after reverse split, there can be, well, I mean, that's kind of common sense because you're bumping the price up by 10. There can be no assurance that the increase in trading price will occur, or if it does occur, that it will equal or exceed 10 times the market price of the common stock prior to the split. In some cases, total market value of company following a reverse split is lower. See WISA today or any penny stock, and may be substantially lower than the total market value before the reverse split. In addition, the fewer number of shares that will be available to trade could possibly cause the trading of the stock to become less liquid, which could have an adverse effect on the price of common stock. And we will have 144 million issued, 550 million authorized. So they talk about that in this next paragraph. An increase in the number of authorized but unissued relative to the number of outstanding shares may, in certain circumstances, be construed as having an anti-takeover effect. Although not designed or intended for such purpose, the effect of a proposed reverse stock split might be to make it more difficult or to discourage a merger, tender offer, proxy contest, or change in control, which the stockholders might deem favorable. For example, the authority of the board to issue common stock might be used to create voting impediments or frustrate an attempt by another person or entity to effect a takeover or otherwise gain control of AMC, because they could just issue more common stock and dilute the voting power of who's ever trying to buy up the float. Our common stock could also be issued to purchasers who support the board in opposing a takeover bid, which the board determines not to be in our best interest. They're just restating, they if they don't like a takeover bid, they're going to issue more stock, either selling it into the market or a private placement to someone that's friendly to the board to prevent a hostile takeover.
That's
the
probably
board,
why he wants those 410 million extra shares.
Well, he's got the preferred shares too.
Yeah.
And that, I don't even know why they're talking about that with the common. He's got the 50 million preferred also. The board is not presently aware of any attempt or contemplated attempt to take over control of the company. And the reverse split is not part of any plan by the board to recommend or implement a series of anti-takeover measures. This is legal talk, covering all the bases. Par value will remain unchanged at 1 cent. No fractional shares. We already talked about that. Make sure everything is rounded by 10 in your portfolio. Yeah, I guess this is explaining that the ratio, that 1/10 ape will equal, it's because of the reverse split. At the effectiveness of the reverse split, each ape will be convertible into 1/10 of a common stock, but subject to implementation of the charter amendment proposal, on the first business day following the effectiveness of the reverse split, each outstanding share of preferred stock will convert into the split adjusted 10 shares of common stock, and the Series A preferred stock will cease to exist. Yeah, so that explains that fraction thing, because the reverse split's going to happen, and the next day the conversion of ape to AMC is going to happen. Can you imagine people watching their ape get knocked down by 10 and not converted? That one day where that happens, there's going to be mass chaos in the streets. They ripped me off. They ripped me off.
I mean, if it doesn't go through, ape's going to be demolished.
I'm just saying, if it's a yes vote and we wait for that, you have that 1 day delay of the reverse split, and then while we're waiting, everyone's going to be saying, my ape just got knocked down by 10 and it didn't convert. The heck? This was a big question a lot of people had. What's going to happen to vested and unvested RSUs and PSUs, the bonuses for the execs? It does say here that they will be split as well. Furthermore, the number of shares available for future grants will be adjusted. So let's take that little bit of FUD off the table. Adam Aron is not doing this to make himself rich by not adjusting the RSUs and the PSUs. They will be adjusted. That's why I said let's wait until we see the proxy before we start creating anti-Adam Aron videos. But that didn't stop anybody. They still did. If the reverse split is not approved, the company may put the adjournment proposal to a vote. So if 1 and 2 aren't approved, they're going to ask you to vote on 3, and they will seek additional time to get more votes and reconvene the meeting at a later date. Consult your tax advisor if you have any questions. This talks about the beneficial owners. Right here, this was a little confusing to me at first. It says Antera owns 27%. Just to clarify, that is of APE. They own about 17% of the entire float if you add AMC and APE together. Looks like Vanguard has 14%. And then the final, this Annex A, this is the actual wording that is going to go into the certificate of incorporation. And what I'm seeing in here that they didn't really talk about, and someone asked me about this in the Discord, the 600,000 shares, what is that? Because they said 550. Right now, they have 516 AMC and 1 billion APE and 40 million preferred stock. It looks like they are wording this. They are, some might say, sneaking it in, but they had 50 million preferred shares before. They're going to make it back to 50 million preferred shares. So APE is going to go away. Those 10 million preferred stock are burned, but they are reauthorizing a total of 50 million. So it'll go back to 50 million preferred stock. These are the what is the word? I know it's the anti-takeover, but there's another phrase. And then we'll have the 550 million authorized for AMC. All right, now let's look at comments and questions. We've gone through that document. We can go back up and look at stuff. But what questions do you guys have? Now
I had
I'm gonna pour myself a drink now.
Sorry about that. I had to go over to my YouTube channel and hand out some wrenches.
Okay. Are we getting trolled?
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention, but somebody close to me let me know they needed one. So
Okay. By the way, just a reminder, guys, for the admins on my channel, please don't block or delete people unless they're being insulting to people in the chat or to the host or the guest. I don't mind dissenting opinions. Please don't spam the same comments over and over. Be polite, and you're welcome to have your comments in the chat. They might not get read, but you're welcome to have them in the chat. James says dilution is coming either way. We vote no, and Adam Aaron dumps millions more ape. I'd say billions, James.
I think James is right.
If we vote yes, we cut the float way down, and yeah, he will dilute with AMC, but at a lesser quantity. Scrolling down to the bottom of the chat, so I'm gonna skip over a bunch. If you had something important, now that I'm reading the chat, feel free to repeat it.
Doc Zeno, I know, glue and tape, buddy. We're gonna need it.
Is the conversion first or the split? The way I'm reading this, Gus, you guys feel free to correct me if you think I'm wrong. The way I'm reading this, the reverse split will be first, and then the conversion will be the next day.
I thought it was the other way, but I don't know.
You think you didn't think the reverse split is first? That's why we have this table about the 1 for 10, because they're gonna reverse it and then convert it.
So that didn't mean what I thought it meant?
It doesn't mean something bad.
Okay. That's cool. I hope that's right. I wasn't sure. I thought they were going to do the other thing first, but that could mean that. I got to look into that. I got to read this document again.
Yeah, I'm going to read it again tomorrow after I've had a full night's rest. Again, this is a working session. This is only our second time to read through this. And mainly we're here to see what questions you guys have and share where we're at on it. Steve says, what about Adam getting paid in shares after the split? We just covered that there, and I encourage you to read the document. The compensation plan is covered in the proxy. All awards, compensation plan, unvested RSUs and PSUs will be adjusted for the split. So let's stop with that. Please read the document or scroll back where I showed that paragraph. That is FUD and incorrect information.
Yeah. It said it in there. All of the board is getting cut, just like us. Same split for everybody, all around.
Omar says the conversion first and the split after. KYP says no one should be getting any bonuses. I'm good with that too.
Yep, I don't disagree with that at all.
Until the company's profitable, I think they should cut all of their pay and the bonuses. Who do I think was buying Ape after hours? No way to tell if it was some institutions or retail. I didn't look into it that deep, but anytime there's good news on any company, you always see those type of run-ups. I'm always curious who is the one buying those. Was that Ape holders selling some of their AMC and moving to Ape? Was it institutions knowing what we've been talking about this arbitrage theory that Ape is undervalued and they're getting ahead of the game? I don't know. But I've been predicting this type of upward movement for a long time. Unfortunately, we got hit with a lot of downward movement first.
I don't think selling your AMC to buy Ape is a good idea, but that's, you do you.
I did not do that, but I know some people did. I've seen them on Twitter.
You only allow them to get out of their short position. You think that is not going to help cause a squeeze. We'll just say that.
KYP says our leadership didn't take a bonus when the company was doing bad for the company he worked with. It's a good gesture. And the board and the executives are paid quite well. I would like to see some pay cuts, not just I'm not taking a pay increase, Adam. That was a nice gesture. I appreciate that, but I'd like to see a pay cut until the company is healthy. Show us some gravitas. Show us that you really are on board and really motivated to get the company profitable. Show us we're all rowing in the same direction. Cut everybody's bonuses until profitable. That'll get a fire under their ass.
I hope so. But they ain't going to do that. I wish they would.
How do I feel about Sean Goodman's retention bonus, $500K? I don't know. I think for all CEOs nationwide, it's obscene what they get paid relative to the frontline workers.
I mean, he's the next guy. He's the guy that's coming up, I don't think they should be able to do it with the money, though.
Jenna says, show us how McDonald's did after the reverse split. I did a video about a month ago showing you guys, everyone focuses on penny stocks and reverse splits. And the reason these penny stocks, they all go down right after reverse split. We know that. I talk against reverse splits or warn people against reverse splits on penny stocks all the time. That don't be buying these penny stock companies if you know they have a reverse split coming, because it's going to go down. Why? Because these companies were already junky trades before the reverse split. The only reason they are reverse splitting is to not go to the pink sheets. Most of them have no revenue or years of declining revenue or a shit ton of convertible debt. And they're just bad investments. Reverse split is not being done for any strategic reason other than to get pushed. They're trying to avoid getting pushed down to the pink sheet. So that is why they continue to go down until or unless they deliver some profits. Then even a penny stock can go up after reverse split. And some do, but the vast majority do not. In my video a month ago, 2-3 weeks ago, I showed you what happens to companies with over $1 billion market cap, something more similar to an AMC. And in that case, when we look at a much smaller, I took a 2-year, every company in that video that has done a reverse split, more than half of them went up after the reverse split. Not the day after. They went up after what? After they improved their fundamentals. They did not all just get obliterated 90% after, the day one either. If the company is reasonably performing, reasonably executing, they have revenue coming in, they're growing. A reverse split does not mean the end of the world. What I'm not worried about a reverse split as much as I'm worried about the negative effects of dilution. That I would say there's very little statistical way that I can think of. Mediocre, you can jump in.
I think dilution is the problem.
Yeah, there's statistically, when a company announces dilution, you're going to see the price drop. Then you have to have the trust and the patience to see what do they do with that dilution. What do they do with the money they make? How much money do they make? That's really the wait and see. And I can't tell you guys how that is going to turn out. if it's a yes vote in the reverse split, and then he announces 100 million or 200 million share shelf offering or private placement, he's going to make $1 billion, $2 billion, $3 billion in cash, depending on the price of AMC.
I think we're going to continue to grow as far as, getting people to the theaters, So those numbers are going to go up. It's going to become profitable. So I'm not worried about the reverse split. I'm more worried about the dilution, to be honest.
And it's going to be a seesaw effect, right? Like when he announces dilution, that's probably not going to be taken favorable. But what happens if 3 months later he said, we just closed the shelf offering, or we closed a private placement deal, and the company now has $2 billion in cash again? Everybody kind of goes, bankruptcy really is off the table again. We can make it till 2024 when the box office recovers, knock on wood, and if the gods are on our side.
Hopefully that happens.
So
I think it's going to happen.
If you guys decide to stay in the play, this is how I think it'll play out. And occasionally I'm wrong, but I've seen enough of these that I think that if there is a dilution announcement, we'll get knocked down. And then you can use that as a buying opportunity. You could sell before it if you think that's going to happen and you don't want to hold through that. Or you could just hold and buy if the price gets knocked down in a dilution. If you still believe in the company and you think they're going to raise a decent amount of cash and put it to good use. And I think that if you're patient and wait several months after that cash raise, you're going to see a different AMC, a different view of it on the street.
No, I agree with that. I think once we have the money, it's going to be different. You're going to have institutions buying in and all that, It's going to be a different animal altogether.
Steve says if someone's average is $30, then after the split to break even, you would need the stock to be 300. Yep. What are the chances? I mean, the market cap is not changing, Steve. The float is being reduced. The reason I can't answer your question, Steve, is because I don't know the effects of dilution or how many he's going to dilute it. If he triples the float after the reverse split with 200 million more shares, clearly that would make it harder compared to today to get to 300 versus 30. If he just did the reverse split, I would say to you, Steve, it's exactly the same thing because the float is reduced. But the effect of dilution will make it harder to get to 300. It all
depends on what he dilutes. That's the problem. And then he's got 410 million he can dilute. That's the other problem.
Won't the short interest still be huge? The short interest after a reverse split will not change. The obligation financially of shorts will not change. They will still owe the same amount, whether they're real shares or synthetic. Everything will be exactly the same. Their share that they got to go buy to cover is reduced by 10, but the price of the stock is 10 times higher. So everybody is exactly the same where they were after reverse split.
Yeah, equal playing field.
Jeff says he won't dilute all. He needs to keep some in the bank for future. Yeah, I don't see him diluting 400 million shares or 350 million.
I don't see him doing it either, but he has it available without shareholder consent.
Yep. That is correct. What will happen with options contracts? That is a good question. I'm expecting it will be something similar to what happened when the two tickers split. That, right now we have AMC 1 out there, which is the basket of all the AMC options that were before the split. And then we have the new AMC options chain, which is just AMC. And now we're going to put everything back, and there'll be another new options chain. So I'm just guessing that the existing options chain right now, if your options are after March 14th, those will be called AMC 2. It's going to get real confusing.
Diaz says AA is creating a monopoly and he wants in. I get it. He is kind of doing that, but I don't know. I'm worried about a little dilution too. I do agree with you on the monopoly thing, though.
Steven says Adam Aaron won't dilute during peak volatility. He will dilute after the stock calms down. I don't know. I mean, what I would like him to do, guys, is let the reverse split happen. Just, God damn it. I don't know what I want him to do. I'm like creating these scenarios in my head, but I know I'm also being like, I'm dreaming a little too much. Like, what if the reverse split happens and the price starts shooting up because he doesn't dilute right away? It's just gonna be a fucking battle when the reverse splits. There's gonna be trolls and shills and hedge funds telling you to sell. I don't know how people are gonna weather that, and I know a lot of people are gonna be mad if a yes vote passes. So it's hard for me to say with any certainty that the price is gonna shoot up after a reverse split. But I was going with what Steven said. If it were to go up, then when the price runs up, that would be the ideal time to dilute.
I mean, I got a question for you,
Yeah,
Tony. The third vote there, I think if he doesn't get his vote, he's gonna give the Terra the other shares, and he's gonna get his vote. I mean,
oh, you think he'll sell them more? They've already, the deal's done now. Tranche 1 and tranche 2.
right? But if he needs a yes vote,
He could sell them more.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. Life is Good says, Tony, you had to read the proxy to make up your mind. Did it change your view since you're not a big fan on reverse splits? I'm not a big fan on reverse splits on penny stocks. After I did my research on small cap stocks that are like over $1 billion in market cap, I did not know what I was going to find when I made that video and did that research. I feel a little better about reverse splits for small cap stocks like AMC. So I'm, a reverse split doesn't not bother me as much as the potential dilution. But at the same time, I know that more dilution is coming in 2023, be it on APE or AMC. So I don't think there's any way of getting out of that line of fire. There's going to be more dilution coming.
No matter what, we're getting diluted. That's the thing people need to understand. Like, we don't have a choice now. He's going to do it.
Candace says, everybody remember selling AMC to buy APE will give the shorts the shares they need. AMC is hard to borrow. That is true. AMC short interest today was over 22%. Let me refresh. Take a end of day look here on Ortex.
That is a true statement. It's like shooting yourself right in the foot.
Short interest is just shy of 23%. It's 22.9. Average cost to borrow is high at 160%. We're in a good spot right now in AMC. And yes, if you're selling your AMC to buy APE, that will give them some shares to play with. Jana says, I'm not going to approve a huge dilution. Yeah, unfortunately we don't get to decide. That's the bad thing. If it was just 1 to 5 million AMC, Jana says, would that be enough? I mean, 5 million times $20, $50. I mean, that's not really enough cash for AMC. I think at a minimum he would do 100 million. What do you think, Mediocre?
He's gonna get the money he needs. I think he's gonna go for the 5 billion anyways, and whatever on top. But he's gonna put money in the bank.
Oh, you think he? Well, I mean, that would, to get 5 billion. It depends on the price of the stock, right?
Right. No, I
5
think he could
billion.
do it with
5 billion. Let's say the price of the stock is $40. That would be 125 million shares. That's not too bad. If he could dilute 125 million and get $40 a share. But what if it drops to 20, you say? What if it drops all the way to 20, Tony, after the reverse split? He would need 250 million shares of dilution.
I don't know if it would drop that much.
I'm not saying it would. I'm just like, I like to game out all scenarios.
Yeah, I know. I agree with you. I just think that the low float stock, it's going to be pretty volatile and hard for them to control the price like they are now.
Cuddy wants us to look at a 2-year wedge on the AMC chart. I mean, guys, we're coming down off of a squeeze back in June of 2021, back down to a more fair value. So when will it break up? I can't tell you that because we have this vote ahead of us. I think anyone trying to do a chart read right now and make a prediction what's going to happen with this vote ahead of us, I mean, all TA rules are out the door when you're looking at a reverse split and a potential dilution.
When this news came out tonight, it kind of, I don't know what's going to happen. They're going to do what they do, but I'm expecting a small run anyways, but I don't know if it's going to be anything comparable to what everybody's thinking here.
Joe says, what I say, AMC is not anywhere near the same as any other stock. I mean, it has good, broad, strong retail support, but a lot of tickers do, Joe. I don't know. I don't silo or fall in love with stocks. I kind of view them all through the same filter. I'm just looking for opportunities.
My thing is whether TA worked or didn't work, AMC, how many times did they halt it every time it ran up? So
a bunch.
I mean, exactly. I'm expecting the same old, you know what I mean? Not that I don't think it can run, right? But the best thing to do right now is to fix the fundamentals of the stock and see where we go, right? Because
the reason we have shorts on our ass is because of the debt and because we're running down, the cash is running down. The only way AMC has a legitimate chance, I mean, you can go on other channels and get catalyst of the week. But if that lightning strike catalyst does not happen, the best chance AMC has to become a really solid play that Wall Street gets behind is to pay off the debt, fix the fundamentals, as Mediocre says.
Yeah. So I mean, just because technicals say we're going to have a run, we'll move. We're not going to sit here and just trade sideways. We're going to move up or down. That's going to happen, but does it mean I wouldn't think we're going to go anywhere because of this news, to be honest.
What do you mean? You wouldn't think what's going anywhere? That we're going to the
AMC? I don't think we're going to get a huge run, is what I'm saying. It could happen, but it's unlikely.
The only thing I was expecting on the news of the proxy statement is that APE would go up closer to the price of AMC.
Yeah.
I know I hear people on space calls saying, this proxy vote is going to make APE run up to $10 or make it moon. There's just not enough short interest on ape to get any moon right now, but the arbitrage factor will make it get closer to the price of AMC.
But AMC did get calls in the money, so we got a small little gamma ramp for next week. We'll see what happens. We
The
might get a
vote.
little, huh?
Sorry, I was going to read a question. Kevin's asking, what's up, Kevin? When is reverse split? The vote is on March 14th. Jordan says, can he drop 125 million shares in a few months without cratering the price? No. Nope. That's why I've said I'm not, the thing I'm more worried about for price being pushed down is not the fact of a reverse split. It is the fact of dilution. Dilution will tend to, at the best case, as I've been talking about on all these other plays like Created and Hellbiz and GNS, they're diluting, whether it's from conversion of debt or issuing shelf offerings that they got on the table. The best case, if retail's buying into the dilution, it kind of sets a ceiling on how high it can go. Because every time retail's trying to buy it, they're diluting. The worst case is if retail or institutions aren't buying and he's selling, and the price gets walked down. Those are your two options, really. You'd have to have massive buying pressure for the price to go up into a dilution event. So best case, we hold the line. Worst case, a dilution is going to make the price go down for a while. And then you got to wait and see when they do the press release that they finish the dilution. How much did they raise? What are they planning to do with it? Did they pay off any debt? Did they pay off any debt at a discount? That can change the game when those type of press releases come in. But the time between when he announces the dilution and you get those press releases, people are going to lose their fucking minds in this play. I'm telling you right now. People are going to be pissed.
I'm not bearish, by the way. I mean, I think AMC's worth at least $30. So,
someone asked me in the Discord, what is the best case scenario with this vote coming up? I said, Mediocre. I said, the best case scenario is we get some catalyst that we're not expecting before the vote.
mm-hmm.
Honestly, if something were to happen to cause a squeeze before the vote, that'd be like God came down from heaven and tapped in Adam Aaron on the shoulder. That is the best case scenario.
I mean, this is the question people need to kind of ask themselves is how much do you think that short sellers are in debt to their position, right? And if Adam Aaron sold directly to them, would that be enough money to get them out of their position? That's the question. I don't really know the answer to that.
Free from It All says you don't have to worry about the price of AMC falling. You could buy puts. I mean, that is a valid hedging strategy. We don't talk about it enough, I think. But when times have changed, guys, from the last year and a half, where people are like, buy and hold, the price is going to go up forever. That a dilution event is probably coming up on AMC. If you are worried about the size of your position getting whacked after reverse split and dilution, that is a valid strategy to consider. Enough puts to cover your position. I'm sure Kevin will be buying more than, I don't even know if Kevin owns AMC anymore, but there will be people playing that strategy. Keygen says people won't like that. People won't like that, Keygen, but people that want to protect or hedge, that's what Wall Street's going to be doing. That's what smart money is going to be doing. I'm not telling you to do it or not do it. I'm just throwing it out there as something to consider. And yes, buying puts is not the same as shorting. Kevin owns one AMC and one ape. All right, you're allowed to have an opinion then.
I don't want people to think I'm bearish because I actually like this stock and I think we'll get good numbers, but I don't think it happens the way
We
people think.
are definitely not bearish. I can tell you that. I've talked to Mediocre. How long have we been talking Mediocre? Over a year,
Yeah.
on and off.
Yeah.
The fact is, guys, you're on a channel. You're talking to two gentlemen who trade. We look at a lot of different stocks, and we try and look at all different ways that things can play out. And some of those you might not want to hear, but we're not going to hide those from you and only focus on the most hopium outcome, because I don't think that is fair to you as investors. And just from a perspective of integrity, I feel like I owe you a full explanation of every possible outcome. And no one knows exactly what the outcome is. We can look at statistically what to expect, and those may sound like bearish cases to some of you. I get it. I get that all the fucking time on every ticker I cover. How dare you tell us that Hellbiz is doing dilution? How dare you tell us that Genius is doing dilution? Because no one else is telling you, and you're going to get wrecked on those penny stocks.
I don't know about you guys, but I have a position and I want to protect it. That's all I'm saying, right? Like at the end of the day, I want to make the most amount of money I can make, just like you.
Yep.
Right? And I want to put myself in the best chance to do that. That's ultimately what I got to say about it, right? Like I'm not trying to. If it goes to $1 million, I'm there. I'm with you. But is it going to go there? I have no idea. I'm going to go where it goes. When it stops, I'm done. I'm getting off the ride.
I'm going to do a poll on my channel. So those of you that are on my channel, we're going to do a quick poll based on, now that we've gone over the proxy statement, what is your planned vote? It's going to be yes or no. Don't answer in the chat. The poll will pop up. I'm just curious where you guys are at now that we've seen the whole thing. Everything's conditioned on each other. You've got to pick either yes or no. Cuddy Cut, I've said up until now that I don't think it is fair for me to say to people how I plan to vote, because no matter what I say, my trolls come to my channel to get their content, and whatever I say, they're going to clip it and put it out there on Twitter, and it doesn't matter what I say, yes or no. And I just, it's hard enough batting the trolls off your ankles as it is. I don't need to be giving them more food. We just cover the proxy. We lay out what it says, lay out what's going to happen, yes or no. You guys decide. You don't need me to tell you what I'm doing.
I mean, you all got to do what you think is best for yourself, but I would encourage you guys to at least do some research before you make your vote. You don't necessarily listen to what I had to say about it, or Tony, or anybody. You know what I mean? Just kind of read through the document, and if you're unsure, ask questions, whatever. You can see what other people are thinking, and make your choice for yourself.
Devastator says, just say it in Spanish, Tony. Did I at least vote something on my own poll? I did not even vote on my own poll. Danny R says, what is up, Mediocre? Can't you take off the slow mode?
I can't, D-Runner. I can't. Tony can't keep up if I do that.
It just, I get so many people getting mad for not answering their questions. I can barely keep up with the comments, and pulling out questions with slow mode on, it would be impossible. If you've ever hosted a live, when the chat's scrolling by like this, we would never be able to answer your questions. So that is why we put it on slow mode. I know it's irritating. Jennifer says, everyone says reverse splits hurt the stock. Please go watch my video 3 weeks ago on what happens to small cap stocks, similar in size to AMC. Yes, reverse splits are not effective on penny stocks. I get it. I talk about that every day. But this is not a penny stock. This is not a company with no revenue like GTII or shit ton of convertible bonds on the books. Go watch my video, please, and drop me your comments there after you watch that. But
no, I agree with you, Tony, on reverse splits that, when companies are under $1, they're fighting to stay on the exchange. You know what I mean? They have to go to go and file for an extension, or they got 180 days to get the stock above $1. They have to do a reverse split, or they get delisted. And they don't want to get delisted, and so what do? They file for an extension. They either get it or they don't. If they get it, they get another 180 days. If they don't, then they're going to have to do a reverse split. And that's what hurts them, right? They're in a position where they're doing it because they have absolutely no choice. And we're not necessarily in that position, but if we don't do nothing, we could end up in that position. And that's what Adam Aaron doesn't want to happen.
Craig is asking,
we're in trouble.
Craig is asking, is it possible for APE to hit $10 prior to the vote? And Adam dilutes 500 million APE. I mean, he's almost out of APE, to be honest. He's got like 50 million left. First of all, they're almost all sold. He could go convert more preferred shares and create more APE, but that's not going to happen. This vote is on the table. All the numbers are in it. There's not going to be any more APE. He's almost out. Second of all, could it hit $10? APE. Look, if there's some catalyst that I don't know about that happens prior to the vote, AMC and APE could both go up. But lacking anything strange happening, I personally don't see any way that APE gets over the price of AMC, because it's twice the float, and they are functionally and economically equivalent. So it would not make sense on Wall Street to allow APE to go over the price of AMC. Even if we wanted to bid it up, there'd be people selling it because it would be overvalued relative to AMC. So I know that people are putting that theory out there. I hear it on the space calls. It does not make financial sense to me that would be allowed to happen. By allowed, I don't mean there's some dark overlord preventing it from happening. I'm just saying the way finance works, the way valuations of tickers go, it would not make sense.
And I would say if Adam Aaron has an opportunity at a price like that, he's going to get rid of those shares too.
Those last 50 million?
He's going to take the money, wouldn't you?
I would, yeah. I would encourage him. I would encourage him to.
Exactly. So he's gonna get rid of those too if we get a fair price for it. But I don't think he's gonna sell them for less than what he gave Atera their shares for. He did what he did because he wanted the support of Atera. It's just that simple. He needed help.
And Antera did it because they knew APE had been beaten down so much that they could come out like a champ. Can you imagine buying those shares for 65 cents and now it's at $2.30? They've already almost 4x to their investment.
Yep.
Crazy.
And I know people get mad at Atera and they're like, well, Atera's a debt holder. They helped us. I don't understand. I understand that they were helping bring the price down by buying and selling for less, right? Just walking the price down. I get that. People complained about that, because that's on paper. It did happen, right? But that's different from shorting.
And we knew that everybody was manipulating the price of APE anyways. I mean, I would not expect, if you're on Wall Street, your business is to generate profits, you're going to pick tickers that you think you can make that happen on. So does it surprise me? No, they are a nimble, agile, profit-making machine. And they made money on the way down, and now they're going to make money on the way up. They're just fucking smart. Do I like it? Not one fucking bit. Welcome to investing.
I mean, I kind of like Atera right now because they're on the good side. You know what I mean?
I know, but they did participate in walking the price down.
Yes, they did. But as far as right now, you know, they got a dog in the fight. So
Cyrus says, how can a price be pegged? I'm using that word loosely. Like you've heard Adam Aaron say this, and myself and many other people, that APE is equal to one AMC, right? And that it has been unfairly sold off, and that it is devalued relative to AMC. They should be at the exact same price. They both have a vote. They both go onto the income statement in computing earnings per share. They should theoretically, in a best case scenario, or at least when they were first issued, be the same price. But APE got hammered to the point where it was undervalued. And that's why Antera is like, yeah, we'll take that deal. Because when you do the conversion, we know that APE is going to go back up to the price of AMC or something close to it. It's not that they're pegged. There's no hard and fast rule. But anybody who understands arbitrage and knows that the way the documents are written, APE is equal to AMC, can understand that they should be close to the same price. Just like when APE got dropped, that was undervalued. It is not likely for it to shoot way above AMC because then it would be overvalued. Doesn't mean it can't happen. Huh?
I was buying it when it went into the 60 cent, 70 cent range.
The lower it dropped, the more I bought.
Me too.
For this exact scenario, like what we saw in After Hours today.
So I'm green on APE in one of my accounts.
Could APE hit $4? Nick is saying yes. I would like to see it hit at least $3, Nick, for the shares that I've been buying since August. 4 would be a blessing.
I would love that.
Foo Dog says, wait. APE is 1/100th of AMC. David, it is not 1/100th of AMC. We've gone over this so many times. It's exactly the same. If you're listening to clickbait channels that don't read documents, you gotta stop listening to those fools. Read this document. I mean, it tells you 20 times in the proxy statement that they're equal. We've made 50 videos since August showing you that they're equal. But you guys want to go to a clickbait channel where some God told me that
again, Tony.
God told me that APE is 1/100th of AMC. It's like, put a bullet in my head. I can't believe these people
says in the document it's 1-to-1.
I cannot believe these people are allowed to make videos on YouTube. Foo Dog said, is the stock market rigged? And the computer came back and said, it is decidedly so. Good night, Kevin. Take care, buddy. How quickly could Adam Aaron sell the remaining 50 million APE? He could sell those at any time. Doug says 4 is a disgrace. Yes, I mean, I get what you're saying, but if you've been buying APE at 60 cents and you could sell that prior to the vote for $4, that's not a bad trade. Are you Mediocre? Have you been buying for to sell some of those prior to the vote, or are you going to hold all the way through? You don't have to answer. I've already answered it.
No, I'm gonna hold mine, to be honest. But
right.
I was originally thinking about swing trading it, but then when the Terra news came out, I said, no, I'm gonna keep it.
All right. Good luck.
Because that dropped my cost average way down.
Jared says Biggums believes in ape being 1/100th. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. It's 1/100th of a preferred share, and a preferred share is worth 100 AMC. I think you guys are misunderstanding what people are saying, except for that guy that talks to God. He definitely said it incorrect.
Exactly. That's what I was trying to tell you earlier, Tony.
What were you trying to tell me?
When we were talking about that, it's 1/100th of one preferred share, which is equal to
100 AMC. Yeah.
Exactly.
People don't bother to read the documents. They don't know that ape came from a preferred share. And then you got to read further that a preferred share equals 100 AMC. Then it all makes sense. Light bulb moment. But for guys that don't do any DD, that's difficult. That's a difficult ask.
It's in the document 10 times, though. It really is.
Yeah, I'm not making it up. This document right here that we have, it says it many, many times. You know what's going to flip them out, Mediocre? That 1/10 little, this little bit. I can't wait for the videos. Guys, you got to sell. Your ape is going to be worth 1/10 of a share of a common stock. Tony, I'm telling you right now, if I see a fucking video from someone making this, I'm going to rain down the holy hell on your channel. Don't do it.
Tony, it's like when they were saying it was worth a fucking penny because I just... Do you remember that whole fucking
I'm warning you fucking clickbaiters right now. Do not do that shit. I'm sick and tired of you guys. Welcome to the suck, Mediocre.
Yeah.
We got a bunch of fools we're dealing with out there in YouTube and Twitter land.
I'm not sure why somebody would want to sell their ape before it merges back into AMC. I don't see why.
Why someone would sell what?
Why somebody would want to sell their ape before it went converted back into AMC?
Because of the unknown factor and the fact that, if you bought it 62 cents and you could sell it for, that's more than 6x your money.
Yeah.
And you got 6x, you got a bird in the hand. Mm-hmm. You got the unknown of what's going to happen after the conversion. So I've been planning on swing trading.
But AMC has the short interest, though.
I know, but I've been planning to swing trade the ape that I've been buying since August, if I get the price that I want, which would have to be over $3. But I have so much ape and AMC already in the bag from before the split that I've just been adding to ape for this moment to lock in a nice swing trade on that.
Yeah.
Like many of you, I'm red on some of my shares of AMC. I'm going to take some opportunities to buffer that a little bit. So that's why I've been buying ape.
Yeah, that was one of my thoughts, but I don't know if I'm going to do it now because of all the stuff. I
don't know that it's the right decision, right? I could leave money on the table by doing that if something spicy happens after the reverse split. Mm-hmm. But I have so much AMC and ape that it's a non-factor.
It's your account, man. You got to do what's best for you, Tony. You know the rules. I don't get mad at people, believe me.
I get mad at seeing red in my portfolio, Mediocre. That's what makes me mad.
No, I do too. But if somebody told me they sold their stuff today, good luck to you. None of my business. I'm not going to tell you hold it or get rid of it. I don't care.
What I'm saying is if I believe in the company, I'm still going to hold the stock, and I've got plenty of AMC and ape.
No, I know you do.
But I take steps like buying calls, when it's at a rock bottom, I'll buy calls to generate some cash on price pops. That makes me feel a little better, like I'm chipping away or adding to my stack, adding in some profits, and I can still comfortably hold the stock. Even though it shows on my broker that I'm red, I know how many options I've sold. I know I'm in good shape. I'm talking about, buying calls and selling them for profit, not selling calls or selling puts. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
All right,
Yeah,
let's see.
Jeffrey, you're right. Tony says you can't save them all. That's true. You can't.
The poll is ended now. 69% on this channel, anyways, are voting yes. 31% no. 270 votes.
What is it again? Read it again.
270 votes. 60. What was it? 67% said yes. 69% said yes. All right. Nick said William asked a good question. Let me see if I can catch it up here. Jeffrey Roche, what's up? Tony, you used to say we can't save them all. I say it every day, Jeffrey. I've been saying that long before AMC and Ape, let me tell you. I've been saying that for a decade. There's a 1.4x Ape currently over the AMC float. Yeah, maybe more than that, almost 2x, isn't it? 900 million Ape versus 500 and something AMC. Ape is less shorted than AMC after the conversion. How does this affect the overall short position of AMC? Good question. So after the conversion, yeah, we need to think about that. Now you're making me do high math. What is the current short interest on Ape? Just, basic math would tell me that's going to drop when you add a lower short interest from Ape into, and the float being higher, into the higher short interest of AMC, you're going to bring the overall short interest down. Do you agree?
I do agree.
Short interest on Ape is 6.7%. So yes, I would expect after the reverse split and they have time to calculate the numbers, if AMC is at 23% today and Ape is at 6.7, and then we convert and reverse split and we just have AMC, you will not see 23% short interest. It'll be considerably lower from Ape being moved over. Arthur says, I missed the poll, but I'm voting yes. Thank you, Arthur. 69% now.
Good night, Dana. Have a good night.
Good night, Dana. Diatog says shorts on AMC can buy Ape to close their position. There is that also. They could be buying Ape now cheaper, and then after it converts, they've got shares that they can hand in to close out their AMC. But I mean, there's a lot of little wrinkles to all of this.
This is true.
Lisa says only the float of Ape can carry over to be short. All right, thank you for that. That is something we've talked about, and I forgot about that in the last 60 seconds. There are some people that think that the shorts on Ape can't be carried over to AMC. Now that we have the proxy statement, I've told you guys that I was waiting for the proxy to come out. I'm going to make some phone calls next week to brokers and trade desks and ask them what is going to happen to shorts on Ape. I know certain people have said things and certain brokers have said things, but others have said we can't answer until we see the proxy statement. So I will be on that. Thank you for reminding me, Lisa. We are unsure what is going to happen to shorts on Ape. They may need to close before the conversion, or they might just carry that position over. I'm not going to give you a definitive answer tonight. I know people have given you one. I like to do my own DD. But thank you for reminding me about that. That is an excellent point. Ape Famous says this all sounds doom and gloom. Ape will convert to AMC, reverse split, dilute. Price will be around 30, and that's it. I mean, you got to think past that. Ape Famous. What happens when they dilute? They're banking potentially billions of dollars of cash, potentially then using that cash to wipe debt off the balance sheet, as you have seen recently, at up to a 30 to 35% discount. I mean, if you understand how balance sheets work and how Wall Street sets a price target for a company based on the valuation and the fundamentals, you could just stop your analysis that dilution is going to be bad. But I think you're being unfair to yourself to think through what that means with what they do with that cash.
Right, because on the other side of that, now they have the cash, you have a lower float stock, and you have a reason for people to buy into the stock now.
And you clean up the balance sheet, you fix the asset to debt ratio. You can fundamentally change how this company is viewed by Wall Street by proper use of that cash. So don't just stop your analysis at they're going to dilute and we're going to shit. If they dilute and the price goes down, you are going to have to be patient for a couple months to see what they did with that money.
And I'll say this, and Adam Aaron, I'm pretty sure, was talking about what's the name of that theater company?
Cineworld?
Huh?
Cineworld?
Regal. Who owns
Regal?
Regal? Yeah, what's the name of the company that owns them?
Cineworld owns Regal.
Yeah, Cineworld. When Adam Aaron was talking about that, if we clean up the balance sheet and he's got that cash, that's another possibility. They were going through bankruptcy. I mean, that's more money coming in. There's a lot of things that could happen. You just got to let stuff kind of play out on top of it.
The reason that for some of you, this, listening to this particular live stream might be sound bearish is you've only been listening to clickbait, hopium-based channels for the last 2 years. And that is not the basis of this channel. I try and present you some grounded reality of what could happen. No one knows exactly what's going to happen. I wake up every day hoping that the clickbait hopium channels are more right than me. I can promise you that. But
yes, so do
I. But at the same time, I got to also look at experience and what happens in other stocks and all these scenarios. And I owe it to you guys to be at least the one channel that tells you that and still likes the stock. There's a lot of channels that tell you this shit and say sell everything. All right. Someone said check Craig's. Craig, let me find you here so I can put it up on the screen. Craig says it's truly a 1-for-5 reverse split because you doubled your position with Ape when it dropped. You had 1,000. I've gone through that math. I don't agree, Craig. I had a 1-hour conversation with someone that sent me a whole page of algebra calculations, that formulas he had written up, and I wrote it back to him in one sentence in a different algebraic formula, and I believe he agreed with me that it's not a 1-for-5 reverse split.
I'll say, Craig, I hope that the apes did exactly what you said in that thing, but I don't know that to be true. I hope it's true, but I don't know that to be true.
And at the end of the day, guys, your basis is the same and the float is lower. So censored content says better to sound bearish than sound stupid. Lordy.
I mean, believe me, I really, really hope this thing goes to $1 million like some people wanted to. I really wanted to.
Who wouldn't want that? But we've been waiting 2 years. I get closer and closer to just being. I'm willing to take a good old fashioned short squeeze off of some unexpected catalyst, and there are a few still. I try not to talk about them a lot because I'm not trying to get people all hyped up. But the fact that this Cineworld Regal thing is in play, their bankruptcy, that is very interesting to me. The unknown profits that the company could make moving into retail selling of popcorn. Is that going to make us $1 billion? No, but it's going to add to the bottom line, I believe. There are a lot of ways that this company gets fixed faster than people are planning. The most bearish channels. So I say just keep your feet grounded in reality. You can have your head up in the clouds, but it's not good to live in the clouds, because then sometimes you end up making bad choices.
How many of you guys out there, think back and say, "Man, I wish I sold when it hit 72."
How many of you what? Say that one more time.
Think back to 2 years ago and say, "Man, I wish I sold at 72."
I'm sure everybody says that.
And we're in a better position now, but we're also in a not so good position now. A not favorable position.
Yeah, I mean, even with dilution, the fact that the box office numbers are what are they, almost double now what they were in 2021, and more debt has been paid off since then. The company is in a better position. Box office is recovering. You're in a better position now than you were in 2021. So if you, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to tell anybody what to do. I should probably just stop talking. Probably should just stop talking. I'm gonna say something I'll regret.
Yeah.
Foo Dog, thank you. Streamlabs says it is decidedly so. Best hat ever. Better than the cowboy hat.
Some people wanted me to wear a cowboy hat tonight, and I tried to outdo you.
Do you have one?
No.
I'll send you one after the run up. AMC Panda says it can go higher than 72. I mean, right now, if we look back at short interest and cost to borrow, aren't we mediocre similarly positioned or better than we were in the run up to 72?
We are. We got less debt. We got a chance to get in at lower prices. I mean, there's a lot of things going on. I mean, let me ask you guys this. You couldn't get into AMC or back then for $2. I mean, I'm just saying you couldn't do it. You were lucky to get in at $4 or $5. I got in at 14. I mean, there's that. Yeah, we're going to dilute, but he diluted when it run up to 72. How much did he dilute then, Tony?
I don't remember. It was enough to raise $2 billion. I could pull it up. Oh no, dilution tracker doesn't show it. Sorry, I'm following so many tickers, to recall those things, I got to go look it up again.
I don't remember how much it was, but it was a good amount. And if we're comparable to that, what's the problem? I don't understand. It just depends on where we end up in the end, with dilution.
The messenger says, why is it better to buy Ape than AMC? We don't give buy-sell advice here, messenger.
Yeah.
Blazin says, here's the thing. I was educated enough to know I should sell, but held because the plan is buy and hold. Nick
41 says, million shares to Mudrick. That's what it was.
41 million?
Yeah.
So, times $70, $50. 41 million times $50. Does that get us 2 billion?
Yeah, it should. Let me get a calculator. I'll find out.
Yeah, roughly 2 billion.
So how many would you have to dilute to get 5 billion now?
It depends on the price, obviously, but We did that math a few minutes ago. If it was at $20, he'd need 250 million shares to get $5 billion. I really don't relish the idea of 250 million share dilution.
Yeah, me either.
But $5 billion in the bank does sound kind of spicy. It's gonna be a whirlwind, a tornado of unknowns while all of that is going on. Yeah. Until we find out what he did with the money.
He may be working deals anyways. I don't think he's going to pay full price for the debt anyways.
I see Doug Plays Guitar working the chat really, really hard to get people to sell. So I'm gonna start the drums up for Doug. I mean, Doug, we appreciate your opinion, but we got it. And you got to let people make their own choices. Many people on my channel play other plays already, Doug. You don't need to be coming in here trying to convince them to find a better play. We find alternate plays every single day on this channel. But in honor of Doug, let's go ahead and roll the drums. Where's my sound effects? Trying to find them.
I don't understand people do that.
Why they do what?
What do they care?
I don't know. I mean, clearly he's trying to get people to sell for some reason. If you're on my channel, we're finding money-making plays every single fucking day. Here we go. The drums. You guys know what to do. If I see enough torches in the chat, Doug is going to leave the island. I hate to do that to you, Doug. I really do. You've been a valued member of this channel up until tonight. I actually don't know if you've ever been here before, but Doug is Matt Kors. Doug, it's an awful lot of torches being thrown up there.
Karen, bring me your torch. The tribe has spoken. It's time for you to leave Ape Island.
Bye, Felicia.
Thanks for playing, Doug. All right, now back to the chat.
That's fucking hilarious.
Even with zero debt, AMC. Oh, I'm reading Doug's chats again. Man, he is working the chat hard tonight.
The Purge.
How about this one? Do you recognize this one?
Chinga tu madre.
I heard that.
Some of you have kids might know this sound effect.
I can't think. I'm echoing.
All right. Nick says, just got out of work and saw the after hours price action. Can someone give me a quick recap on what happened? We got a fucking proxy statement. Finally, Nick. we have a vote date. Finally, March 14th. So go back to the beginning of this live stream. I might do a 5-minute video just recapping it. But tonight was my second read through working session with Mediocre, reading through the document again, kind of going through some unanswered questions we had after the first read through, and then taking your guys' questions and just hanging out. It's Friday night. I can't take Scarlett out dancing because because of her injury. But she is going to come on the live stream. Mediocre, were you around when I ended the live stream last night?
Yeah.
She said she's going to come on the live stream
Next
Saturday. Hey, babe, are you going to come on? Are you going to come on this Saturday or next Saturday? Did you make up? Are you going to come on the live stream this Saturday or next Saturday? Deep thinking going on over here.
Tony, I'm echoing your setup.
You're what?
I'm echoing your setup.
Hang on. Okay, next Saturday then. Well, probably next Saturday, more likely. Yeah. So is tomorrow's potential? All right, sure? All right, potentially tomorrow. Potentially tomorrow. Stay tuned. What were you saying, Mediocre?
I'm echoing.
Oh, you're echoing. Sorry, it's because I had the sound effects turned on.
There you go. The chat was yelling at me.
My bad. She said potentially tomorrow, guys. So we'll see. Where is Scarlett's friend? That if you're asking about Alex, Alex is still around. She's got some stuff going on in her life right now, and she has a bartender job. She told me, so she's working evenings. Sorry, Mediocre. It's just like when I got these in, so I'm hearing you and I'm trying to hear her at the same time, and I couldn't hear both.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. The chat was yelling at me. I was just trying to let you know.
Yeah, Cuddy cut. I love this sound effect. Oh, you can't hear it now because I turned off the sound, but chinga tu madre, I know exactly what that means.
They didn't know I was echoing through you. They just assumed it was me.
What?
You said Kevin said he loves what?
Don't drop into our conversation because you're just getting pieces of it.
Oh, man.
She's like, you said what? I can't have two conversations. If you want to be on the live stream, just come pull up a chair and I'll give you a headset.
Good night, Grandpa Barney.
Good night, Grandpa. Chinga tu madre. Not to Grandpa. I just love that sound effect. All right, Mediocre. I think we've gone over all the DD we can do on the proxy statement. I don't want to keep people all night.
Yeah, same. I'm exhausted, to be honest. I read that thing, and then we had a big meeting in my Discord about it. I'm just tired, dude.
I got a lot of stuff that I want to talk about tomorrow, like what's going on with Bed Bath and Beyond. We got some bombs dropping there. Hellbiz, we got some new bombs dropping tonight, and Hellbiz. It's just
I bought some BBBY puts at the end of the day today. Did I do all right?
Well, I looked at them early in the day, and the implied volatility was so high that I decided not to buy them for next week. By my criteria, I want an easy way to get at least 100% on a put option, and it would need to drop, to about 50 cents.
I bought mine for
what's
March.
Your expiration? You might be okay. I was looking at expirations for next Friday.
I wasn't sure.
And for February 17th.
I wasn't sure when they're going to do the thing. I was just file their Chapter 11. I don't know if that's going to happen or whatever, but I'm counting on that probably.
Yeah, we'll talk about that more tomorrow, but I'm pretty sure Chapter 11's coming. One by one, their options are getting pulled out from under them. They got the JP Morgan acceleration. There was a press release tonight about they don't have any buyers no money to help them through Chapter 11. So it's looking grim, like it's just going to be a straight up closure. Looking really grim. There still could be a last minute night on a white horse ride in. I'm not saying it's done, but by everything I'm seeing right now, it's grim.
That's why I picked March. or April. I can't remember the date. It's either March or April, one of the two. I was looking at a couple.
I am almost done, babe. I am almost done.
Okay.
Why, you got some plans? You got some plans? Do you have some plans?
I want to pick up a good movie.
You want to pick out a good movie at AMC Theaters?
And what?
At AMC Theaters?
No, it's too late for that.
She is she's legally deaf, so if you're wondering why I'm having to repeat stuff, I'm guessing she doesn't have her hearing aids in. Oh man.
What time's your theater? You still got that. What time does it stay open over there? AMC.
I'm sure I was just teasing her. Anytime she
Oh,
says
okay.
movie, I'm like, at AMC.
I'm saying they're just closing now here, but it's after midnight here.
Football says 8-ball is Tony whipped. That's going to be a definite no. There's one person that runs this house, football. Yes.
You should tell everybody that you were double thinking about getting on live tonight, and I talked you into doing it.
Oh, she said, make sure and let everybody know that I was so tired I wasn't going to go live tonight. And she insisted that I do. Well,
What
thank you.
question, Danny?
See, I support you.
Thank you for supporting Tony Denaro channel, babe.
Well, I have some cleaning.
She said, but I had some cleaning to do, so it's okay. Well, get to work. I don't smell enough lemon pledge. She can't
Danny,
hear
if there's
me. She
any
can't hear me,
questions, you
so
can
it's
always
safe.
ask on my Discord. You know what I mean? And I must have missed it. I don't know.
Craig says, how am I wrong? 1,000 AMC and 1,000 APE is 2,000 shares. Price is irrelevant, but before APE, 1,000 converts it. Oh, man. Craig. I think because you're using the word price is irrelevant is why it invalidates your equation. I don't take price or my basis out of the equation.
I'm not the only one.
I'll be done in a couple minutes.
Hallie, sorry I didn't get you in the chat tonight.
Actually, I think I'm the only one here. And
Send me a message on Discord and we can talk about getting you on tomorrow. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I will put out a notice on Twitter and the community tab if Scarlett can make it tomorrow night to grace us with her presence. Hopefully she gets the house cleaned so she can come have some fun with us. I'm just teasing.
I'll be
She's
with
got-
the wife tomorrow. I don't know what time I'll be home.
All right. If
I
she's not,
promised you.
if she, mostly for her, it's just honestly, all jokes aside, it's about being healed up and happy enough and energetic enough to come on. She already doesn't like being on camera. So
Get a break then.
it's a big deal to get her to say, yes, I'll come on the live stream. What were you saying, Mediocre?
I was saying you got a breaker of that.
I'm
Get her on
trying.
camera.
I'm trying, but this is how bad she is about not liking to be the center of attention. She was the maid of honor at her best friend's wedding, and she would not give a speech. Not because she doesn't like her friend. She was afraid she was going to clam up, faint. Do any of you guys have issues with public speaking or like being up in front of a crowd?
I used to.
That is how she is. And I'm like, well, it's just a camera. Just like talk to it like you're talking to your best friend or your dad or your brother. She's like, well, I don't know what to talk about. I was like, well, you don't have to talk about stocks. Let's not do that.
Yeah, I used to be that way myself, to be honest. My one of my sons is that way. I told him you got to kind of break out of your shell. Now I'm loud and obnoxious because it's easier. I know I seem quiet like when we're doing this stuff seriously, but I like to joke around a lot.
Well, I appreciate you coming on. You're a good dude, and you do good DD, and I appreciate that. You are one of those people that we've always been able to count on to be in this community And as I've said many times, just focus on the DD, whether or not you or I or other people agree on facts as we decipher them, or viewpoints about the board or CEOs or whatever. You always keep it adult and respectful. And I like people like you because of that fact. You know, we need less drama and less trying to break people down, and more talking about how are we going to make more money together. We can all disagree about little things, but let's focus on the end game here, and
Exactly.
and
I
be
mean,
adult about it, not children.
Yeah, I'm not always right. I learn shit every day. And, if I'm wrong, okay, I'm glad somebody corrected me or whatever.
Same here.
I'm easy. My name's Mediocre for a reason because I'm not.
That's where I fucked up.
Yeah, I don't know. But
Everybody
I appreciate
says,
you for having me on. You know what I mean? I rather people see, people ask me for my opinion every day. And it's like, okay, I'll give you my opinion, and it is what it is. But I'm not out here trying to. I don't know. I want people to get out of the play safely. And that's what I care about, really. You know what I mean? I'm going to get out. Believe me, I'm all set. But there's people in this play who don't have a clue what the hell's going on, and I hate to say it.
and I extend that to every ticker that I cover. I want you guys to get out of any play that you're in with profit. So if sometimes I tell you things that sound bearish on other tickers, it's not because I'm short that ticker or I'm trying to talk down another channel. It's just they're not giving you the full picture, and they're encouraging you to stay in these plays. Some of the channels, like people, when I make a comment, Mediocre, people always take it personal. He's talking about my channel. No, I'm not. Like there's 50 clickbait channels out there. Don't
There's probably more than that.
don't pat yourself on the back. I probably don't even watch your channel, but I see all the thumbnails, and people send me clips of these people saying, "Oh, don't worry about that Chapter 11 filing. That's nothing. This is bullish, guys." No, we got to have some voice that is giving you guys the other side of the picture. So not that you sell, but that you know a reasonable exit point to lock in profits. That's the end of the game in any play.
The truth is, in every single play, no matter what, there's buyers and sellers. There's bag holders, there's winners, there's losers, right? That's just the name of the nature of the market, right? If you won, somebody lost. That's just the truth. And so, I mean, I don't know.
And we
That's how
want
I
more.
look at it.
We want more of the winners on this channel, and the more informed the more informed that you are, the greater your probability of being a winner and less probability of being a bag holder. Can't be avoided on every play. We all make mistakes, but
Yeah.
we want you guys to succeed, honestly.
Instead of just, saying, oh, boom, and then you're like, nothing. That's no good. I don't know. But I'm tired. I appreciate you having me on, Tony. I really do.
Have a good night.
I hope that the chat and the viewers out there understand what's kind of going on, because that's more important than all the other stuff, right?
Yep. Appreciate your time, everybody, mods, members of the channel, and folks, subs that stopped in to give us all your thoughts and questions. Feel free to, if you got other stuff that I didn't get to tonight, it was a lot of chats. Wait till the video ends and drop them in the comments. I will be reviewing those tonight and tomorrow. You can DM me on Twitter. I will never DM you on Twitter. If someone's DMing you unsolicited, that is a spam account. Thanks. Have a good night. Love you guys. Enjoy your weekend. Go do something outside. Spend some time with your family. And we will see you tomorrow night for the next live stream.
Good night.
Peace.